Internet. Internet is everywhere. Can you live without internet? Probably the answer is no. Internet has changed the way we live our life. And actually, internet has changed from the day it started till now. Nowadays, whether you are in an aeroplane or you are somewhere in the middle of ocean, you still have internet connectivity as compared to past. In the beginning, when we got internet, we used to go to cyber cafe or to a university campus to use and browse internet or web pages. But now it's at the tips of your phones, or you can use it anywhere and everywhere. Actually, now this has brought us to a new competition between countries and between companies. Today, we are talking about a specific company which will and which has revolutionized internet, especially because of satellite connectivity. We are talking about SpaceX. SpaceX, a company which is owned by Elon Musk and a subsidiary which is called Starlink Satellite Company. Actually, we are talking not only about this company, but battle between China, Europe and United States, who would be the leader in satellite internet connectivity. SpaceX is one of the pioneers in satellite interconnectivity at mass and in volume. Let's understand what exactly satellite internet first of all. Basically, internet which you get through satellites is basically called satellite internet. We do have traditional means of internet, whether you are getting it from your mobile network or through a coaxial cable or fiber optic network at your home. So why do we need satellite internet? Actually, what has happened, because there are areas which are very remote, or we are talking about very off-site locations somewhere in the middle of ocean, or when you are flying in an aeroplane, how would you get internet? Mobile networks, fiber optic cannot reach there. And that's when satellite internet comes into picture. Basically, imagine, you are at a place and tsunami or earthquake happens there, or any other natural calamity, mobile network internet or fiber optic internet would be destroyed, and how the connectivity would still be possible. And that's when satellite internet comes into picture. Think about defense or military operations. They need satellite internet because of safety and security. Think about IoT connectivity for machines to machines. Think about aviation, maritime, and many more use cases where satellite internet is very useful and very helpful. Now let's look at Starlink, a company which is owned by SpaceX. Now, what exactly Starlink helps in terms of satellite internet, and how does it provides internet in this area? So basically what Starlink has done, they have launched satellites in the LEO constellation. LEO stands for low Earth orbit, and basically this is closer to the Earth, and there is a group of satellites which is building up a constellation, and it communicates with something called ground trans receivers, which are stationed at a particular physical location, which gives signals back to Wi-Fi router, and you get internet at your home, at your office, or wherever you are. So basically what Starlink has done, it has made it so easy by launching a specific kit called Starlink kit. You can see in the picture here, you get it at your home. You have to pay a particular subscription fee, and then once you get it, you just actually configure and install through your app this particular kit. It's very easy. It's also called as Dishy because it's so easy and convenient to install, and you will get an installation guide and kit along with this kit. Basically, this has revolutionized internet in areas where it was never ever before possible. Now, what are the features of Starlink? Basically, it provides speed of 50 to 250 Mbps for residential customers, but there are some business premium packages. In terms of latency and speed, it gives you internet at a speed of 20 milliseconds to 40 milliseconds, and it is mainly for remote locations as of now. But I am gonna end this video today by telling you that how the future internet would look like, and how satellite internet will change the way we use internet. The other thing about Starlink is to understand what is currently the installed base and how many subscribers, and in terms of revenue, etc., how this company is doing, which is owned by Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the richest person on the planet as of today. So it has currently 7,000 operational satellites in the constellation, and it is having roughly about 5 million customers, but the customers base is growing every day as they're getting new licenses and approvals to operate in different countries. Currently, Starlink is operating in 100 plus countries. Yes, you heard it right, 100 plus countries, and they are also making name and presence in countries in Africa and all other continents as well. Now, let's look at the revenue. What we are talking in terms of the numbers. As of 2024, we are expecting a revenue of $6.6 billion, and it could be up to $11.8 billion in 2025. So we are talking about big money. But also in terms of investment, they have done a huge investment. As per my study, they have already invested close to $20 billion US, and they are projecting another 30 to 50 billion US in the coming years, because when we are talking about satellite internet, we need to build a constellation of satellites which basically provides you internet wherever, whenever you want it. Now let's look at China. As I mentioned at the beginning, now this is a race to be a leader, and actually Starlink is based in US, though it is owned by Elon Musk, but basically US dominates this particular market, and to compete, to challenge US dominance, China has come up with their own program, and they are planning to launch 38,000 satellites as compared to 42,000 satellites which are actually planned by Starlink in the coming years. So that is the total plan of Starlink. Currently they have only 7,000. So China have launched China has launched 3 programs: Qinfan, Guowang and Hongzhou 3. Actually, these 3 programs, whatever you say, are mainly owned by Chinese state government, though there are different names when you do Google about it. So let's look at each of them. So Qinfan, which is also called 1,000 Mines, which is also led by Chinese state-owned entities, planning to deploy 15,000 LEO satellites. They are planning 15,000. So that is the first one. They have another program called Guowang, which is basically shown as national network, but again it is owned by Chinese state media, and they are planning to deploy 13,000 LEO satellites. And the last one is Hongzhou 3, though again there is a company which says Hengquang Technology which owns it, but basically again it is owned by Chinese state government, and they are planning to deploy 10,000. So as I mentioned, they have huge strong plans to compete StarX or Starlink satellite company, and to challenge US dominance. And now you can see there are different news coming in different media groups, and how China is trying to compete with US SpaceX company, and basically they are buckling up. They are putting a lot of money by the Chinese government to ensure that they have their own satellite internet connectivity. They are giving different reasons that it is different from SpaceX, and they are not competing. They are building their own network, but at the end of the day, it is the battle between United States and China overall. But not only that, if you see the overall situation I have depicted here. So basically, as I mentioned, Starlink is planning to launch 42,000 LEO satellites, and currently they have about 7,000. Guowang, Qinfan, Hongzhou in total is planning about 36,000, though not many of them are on air. They are not yet launched, but I am sure if the Chinese government is backing it, sooner or later they will all be on air and they would be live to provide internet connectivity. But it doesn't only end here. Europe is also trying to come into this space, and there is a company called Eutelsat which has recently merged with another company from UK called OneWeb. Now it is called Eutelsat OneWeb, and they also have plans about 648, I think, LEO satellites, though 630 have been launched and successfully communicating. So you can see there is a battle between Europe, China and US, though definitely if we see the numbers, China and US are planning and have huge plans towards this particular satellite internet connectivity. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, actually, is it only about satellite internet connectivity for remote areas? No. Actually, the future is different. In the future, you will get internet not only from fiber and from mobile networks, but also through satellites. And as a step towards that, there is a company which has been building alternate network by a company called Rivada Networks, and there is another company called Colt who have recently signed an agreement with Rivada Networks to build a constellation of satellites around the world, and they would be providing internet connectivity to each of us. So actually the game does not end here. The future about internet is gonna be very aggressive, and as a user you expect to get better, faster and cheaper internet as the future comes into picture. So I will stop and give my suggestions here, but please feel free to reach out to me for any communication systems advice. I am an expert consultant looking into IT, telecom, satellite connectivity and in communication services. If you or your organization or any other enterprise is looking for expert advice in terms of connectivity, in terms of future connectivity networks, especially in terms of internet connectivity through satellites, I am more than happy to give you expert advice. You can reach out to me by my email, which I have just dropped down here. So feel free to reach out. I am more than happy to provide expert consulting advice based on your or your organization needs to make this world a better connected world for each of us. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Have a good day.